Crafts. My name is Puna, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make some of these great paper roses or flowers. They're really easy to make, and they're good for like decorating large spaces because you can actually make really big flowers with them, hang them up on the wall. So in order to do this project, you're going to need a piece of paper, and I just took any old scrapbooking paper. This one actually has an embossed, like a raised design on it that I've kind of brought out with some sandpaper, but you can use anything. You just use straight paper or pattern paper, anything that kind of tickles your fancy for this one. And then you also need a scissors and a pencil and a hot glue gun to glue the flower together. So what you're going to do first is get your paper, and on the back side of the paper you're going to draw a spiral. And it's just a spiral like that. The thing to think about with the spiral is that the bigger the spiral is, the bigger your petals are going to be, and the less petals you're going to have. So just something to keep in mind with that. And then you're going to end up taking your scissors and just cutting, not along the spiral. The spiral is going to be like your guide. So what you did with the pencil there is just kind of guide you along the direction that you want to go in. So, and what I'm doing here, if you notice, I'm making sort of like scallops, and they don't have to be nice or pretty, they don't have to be even. You just want to kind of give it this really easy back and forth scalloped edge to it, and you can make them big or small. I think I tend to make them bigger on the outer edges and then smaller as I get closer into the middle of the spiral. But really you can do whatever you want. And we're just going to keep cutting around until we get to the center. Let me just finish this up. And just sort of keeping to the scalloped pattern until we get right to the middle of the spiral. And then the outside here, you're going to have one piece that doesn't quite fit well. I'm going to just snip it off, sort of keeping with that pattern. And now what you do is take the center, starting from the middle. You're going to start to roll your paper into as tight as you can get, like a cone shape. Sometimes it may be easier for you to do this with a dowel and rolling this flower around the dowel, but I find it easier for me to just go along with this cone shape. I'm just going to keep rolling right along, trying to keep sort of tight like this. And you're going to do that until you get to the outer edge of your paper. Just keep going around and around till you get to the outer edge of your paper, and then you can kind of let it go and let it flare out and make this paper flower shape, and that's what your flower is going to end up looking like. So in order to get this to actually sit on something or be a flower, I have another one that I made earlier, and what we're going to do is I'm adding them to, you might have seen this piece if you had been watching one of the previous episodes. I'm going to add some flowers to this already finished piece just to give it a little bit more of an accent. And all we're going to do with the flower is kind of decide on how big you want your flower to be. And I think this is going to be as big as this one gets. And I'm just going to take some hot glue with a hot glue gun at the edge here. Put some right there, and that's just going to glue to the other side, and that's going to keep the flower together on the outside. And then to glue it to my canvas or poster board or whatever we're putting this onto, I don't suggest you glue it to a wall, but you could if you wanted to. But for this, we're just going to use like a canvas on a wall hanging. So in order to do that, I'm just going to find my placement, which I think I'm going to want it right about here. And I'm just going to put kind of a lot of glue in the center. And what I want to do is just make sure I have enough to cover the center of the flower so that it'll stay nice and neat. And then sit the flower down into it. I have a high temperature glue gun that I'm using, so you just got to make sure that you hold it down long enough until the glue is set. And then when you're done, you can go to your flowers and kind of bend open the edges if you wanted, open them up a little bit and shape them so that they look a little bit more like a rose than just a spiral piece of paper. And that is it. Thanks again for joining us. Have a great day.